The motivation for this law is simple: to allow New Jersey's disenfranchised voters to make it easier for them to get to the polls and cast their vote.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the law of the land.
The law of the land, at least in New Jersey, as Democratic Governor Phil Murphy signed off Tuesday on a major expansion of in-person early voting. Starting this November, every New Jersey county will be required to open up several early voting locations as early as 10 days before the general election. That's a night and day contrast from what's happening in other Republican-controlled states. In Georgia, polling hours were reduced in time for November's presidential election. That led to longer lines. Now, Republican officials just passed even tighter restrictions, including one against so-called line warming, making it a crime to give water to those same voters standing on those longer lines. But listen to how Georgia Governor Brian Kemp explains it.
With Senate Bill 202, Georgia will take another step toward ensuring our elections are secure, accessible, and fair.
Henel Patel is director of the Democracy and Justice Program at the New Jersey Institute for Social Justice.
All of these claims of voter fraud, of issues with the election that we heard last year that were made up, conspiracies that were made up, are now being used as pretext to roll back voting rights. And this isn't new in American history.
Not everyone is celebrating New Jersey's newly expanded voting access. That includes Republican Hunterdon County Clerk Mary Melfi, who is also the nonpartisan legislative liaison for all of New Jersey's county clerks.
It's just a little bit too rushed, and there's going to be problems with it. And when I say problems, from an implementation standpoint.
The executive director of the New Jersey Association of Counties says the law was passed without a plan to pay for it.
We're projecting that it could cost, just for the initial capital expenditures, about $77 million. That includes voting machines, e-poll books, other software, just to get the system up and running.
Lower estimates peg the cost at around $50 million. There are $2 million dedicated funding for this law. Governor Murphy has proposed an additional $20 million, so there's certainly a funding hurdle here. We're live in Hackensack, New Jersey tonight. Jay Dow, Pix 11 News.